McKees Rocks is a rough and tumble area just outside Pittsburgh. My name's Scott Baker. My family has been connected with this community for generations. In 1941, my grandfather opened his bakery here, and he called it Jenny Lee.
We used to always go to Jenny Lee's after church, if you were good in church. Egg custard pies, homemade bread that was still warm. Years later, I worked in the store. I did wedding cakes.
My father, Bernie, took over after my grandfather retired.
I am a baker by name, baker by trade.
I started coming in to the bakery with my dad when I was 7 or 8 years old. Absolutely loved it.
I remember Scott, as a young man, he just jumped in here. It was a booming time. We're just coming up the ramp, McKees Rocks Bridge, around Thanksgiving, and we heard all the sirens and that. And my husband said, "It's where you work." And I was like, "No." And he said, "It is. You don't have a job."
I remember pulling up to the bakery and seeing my dad and just the look of despair.
It was my life, my employment, and to see that all go up in smoke was just an overwhelming feeling.
The fire followed by the recession made it really hard to hang on, and ultimately the decision was made to close the doors. After that, I was so frustrated and burnt out.
He said, "Scott, you ought to just sell cars, sell furniture. You can make a very good living. You don't have all the headaches," but he didn't listen.
I started thinking, baking is in my blood. It's what we do. We've been baking in this community for 5 generations. I wanted to try and rebuild the business here in McKees Rocks. So I started looking, and I learned retail bakeries in today's market are dinosaurs. People go to supermarkets. You can find a donut shop on nearly every corner. So I realized we had to do the baking ourselves and then sell it to the stores. But my aha moment was when I learned that one of the top flavor profiles for sweet goods is cinnamon. I wanted to manufacture gourmet cinnamon bread. That would be the foundation of the new business. And so I founded 5 Generation Bakers and branded our bread, Jenny Lee Swirl Bread. But in order to make this thing last, I had to learn about some of the things my dad didn't have. So I hired a young kid named Cody. He spearheaded a digital ad campaign, and he introduced our product to thousands of new customers on social media.
Most days, I leave the bakery smelling like cinnamon.
Since then, we have been one of Pittsburgh's fastest growing companies.
And I called him up, and I said, "I want my job back."
So I hired her on the spot. And of course, I hired my dad back as well.
When are we gonna get the first order?
I'm very proud of him for keeping it going. He keeps me young.
You know, I feel that we're really blessed to be able to help the community. But when you think about it, really the community has been helping us for a long time. And I hope it's for another 5 generations to come.
I'm not good at putting things into words, but it makes me proud being back with Scott and Bernie, making something good again, something that they could have in every house. I made that. I'm proud to say that.